Hello, my wonderful English learners. Welcome back to our channel. Before we start today's meaningful lesson, I want to say something from my heart. I upload new videos to our channel every day for you to learn and grow. Don't forget to support me so I can continue doing this. You can help me see our channel in front of more people by subscribing, becoming a member, liking, and commenting on each of my videos. Please don't forget to do these. Thank you so much. Now, let's learn English vocabulary that will help you talk about your dreams, challenges, and growth. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever told yourself, I can't do that, or I'm just not that kind of person? Maybe you think you can't become fluent in English. Maybe you believe you're not good at public speaking. Maybe you've convinced yourself that some goal is just impossible for you. Today, we're going to learn English vocabulary for talking about limitations, fears, goals, and personal growth. But this isn't just a vocabulary lesson. These are the words and phrases you'll use when you talk about your dreams, when you encourage a friend, or when you need to motivate yourself. Teaching note: this vocabulary is essential for deeper conversations about life, goals, and personal challenges. The theme of today's lesson is this: you are probably more capable than you think. The main things holding you back aren't real. They're what we call invisible walls that you've built in your own mind. What we'll learn: vocabulary for limitations, fears, and self-doubt. Phrases for taking action and making progress. Words for motivation and confidence. Language for describing growth and transformation. How to talk about your goals and challenges. By the end, you'll have complete vocabulary for discussing personal development in English, whether you're talking about learning English itself or any other goal in your life. If you liked this lesson, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English with us. Ready to learn vocabulary that truly matters? Let's begin. Let's start with vocabulary for describing the negative thoughts and fears that hold people back. Key concept: invisible walls. Invisible walls equal mental barriers that aren't real but feel real. This is a metaphor comparing mental limitations to physical walls. Example: I have invisible walls around learning English. I tell myself I'm too old or not smart enough. Related vocabulary: limitation. Noun. Definition: something that restricts what you can do. Examples: my biggest limitation is fear of making mistakes. Or, time is a limitation. I'm very busy. Or, I need to recognize which limitations are real and which are in my mind. Verb form: limit, to restrict. Adjective form: limited, restricted, not unlimited. Self-imposed. Adjective. Definition: created by yourself, not by others or by circumstances. Example: most of my limitations are self-imposed. I create them in my own mind. Teaching note: self-imposed comes from impose, to force something, plus self, yourself. Barrier. Noun. Definition: something that prevents progress or makes it difficult. Synonyms: obstacle, wall, block. Example: language barriers can be overcome with practice. Self-doubt, noun. Lack of confidence in yourself and your abilities. Examples: I struggle with self-doubt when speaking English. Self-doubt is normal, but don't let it stop you. Related phrase: second-guess yourself, means to doubt your decisions. Internal voice or inner voice, noun phrase. Definition: the thoughts and self-talk happening in your mind. Examples: my inner voice tells me I can't do it. Or, I'm trying to change my internal dialogue from negative to positive. Teaching note: dialogue can be external with others or internal with yourself. Common negative phrases people say to themselves. Let's learn how people express these limiting beliefs. I just can't do that, meaning I believe it's impossible for me. I'm just not that kind of person, meaning I don't have the personality or qualities needed. I'm not good enough, meaning I don't meet the standard required. I don't belong here, meaning I feel out of place or unqualified. What if I fail? Meaning I'm worried about the possibility of failure. I'm not ready yet, meaning I don't feel prepared, often used as an excuse to delay. Practice. Try saying these. Even though they're negative, it's important to recognize them. I tell myself I can't do that. Sometimes I feel like I'm not good enough. I worry about failure. Important vocabulary for recognizing patterns. Acknowledge, verb. Definition: to recognize and accept that something exists or is true. Example: the first step is to acknowledge your fears. You can't overcome what you don't recognize. Construct, verb and noun. Definition: to build something, can be physical or mental. Example: these limitations are mental constructs, ideas we've built in our minds. Teaching note: construct as a noun means something built or created, especially an idea. Rationalize, verb. Definition: to find logical reasons to justify something, often incorrectly. Example: I rationalize not trying by telling myself I'm just being realistic. Foster, verb. Definition: to encourage or promote the development of something. Example: negative self-talk fosters doubt and discourages growth. Now, let's learn vocabulary for taking action and making progress, even when it's small. Key concept: the power of small actions. Incremental, adjective. Definition: happening gradually in small amounts. Examples: incremental progress is still progress. Learning English is an incremental process. Small improvements add up. Teaching note: incremental comes from increment, meaning a small increase. Seed, noun, as a metaphor. Definition: the beginning of something that will grow. Example: every small action is a seed. You won't see results immediately, but with time, it grows. Related phrase: plant seeds means to begin something that will develop later. Momentum, noun. Definition: the force or energy that keeps something moving forward. Examples: taking action creates momentum. Once you start, the momentum builds and it gets easier. Don't break your momentum. Keep going. Teaching note: this is a physics term used metaphorically for progress and motivation. Consistency, noun. Consistent, adjective. Definition: doing something regularly and reliably over time. Examples: consistency is more important than intensity. Be consistent with your English practice. Consistent small actions lead to big results. Adverb: consistently, in a consistent manner. Sustainable, adjective. Definition: able to continue over a long period without burning out. Examples: choose a sustainable practice schedule, something you can maintain. Dramatic changes aren't sustainable. Small changes are. Teaching note: often used for environment, but also for habits and personal development. Phrases for describing small actions. One step at a time. Progress gradually, focusing on the immediate next action. Don't worry about fluency yet. Just take it one step at a time. Slow and steady wins the race. Consistent, gradual progress is more effective than rushing. Example: learning English is slow and steady, wins the race. Teaching note: this comes from the fable The Tortoise and the Hare. Small actions add up. Many small efforts combine to create significant results. Example: studying 10 minutes daily doesn't seem like much, but small actions add up. Show up. To be present and make an effort, even when it's difficult. Examples: success comes from showing up every day. You don't need to be perfect, just show up. Half the battle is just showing up. Teaching note: show up is very common in motivational contexts. Cultivation, noun. Cultivate, verb. Definition: to develop or nurture something gradually. Examples: confidence is cultivated through practice. I'm cultivating better habits. Origin: from farming, cultivating crops. Gradual, adjective. Gradually, adverb. Definition: happening slowly over time, not suddenly. Examples: change is gradual, not instant. Your English will improve gradually with practice. Opposite: sudden, abrupt, or dramatic. If you liked this lesson, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English with us. Now let's learn vocabulary for discussing motivation, confidence, and taking action despite fear. Key concept: action creates motivation. Motivation, noun. Motivate, verb. The definition is the reason or desire that causes you to do something. For example, I'm waiting to feel motivated. This is a common mistake. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. What motivates you to learn English? The adjective is motivated, which means having motivation. We need to make sure that we're understanding this correctly. Many people misunderstand this. They think motivation comes first, but actually taking action creates motivation. Catalyst, this is a noun, and it means something that causes change or action to happen. For example, taking one small action can be the catalyst for bigger changes. The origin is from chemistry, a substance that speeds up a reaction. Prerequisite, this is also a noun, and it means something required before you can do something else. For example, confidence is not a prerequisite for action. You can act without feeling confident. This is often used in education. For example, Math 101 is a prerequisite for Math 201. Byproduct. This is also a noun, and it means something produced as a result of making something else. For example, confidence is a byproduct of action. It comes from doing, not from thinking. Confidence, noun. Confident, adjective. The definition is belief in yourself and your abilities. For example, build confidence by taking action. I feel more confident after practicing. There's an important clarification. Confidence is not the absence of fear, feeling certain you'll succeed, never having doubts. Confidence is acting despite fear, continuing even when you're uncertain, moving forward with doubts. Doubt, this is a noun or verb, and it means uncertainty about something, to question or lack conviction. For example, I have doubts about my English ability. Doubt is normal. Everyone experiences it. Don't let doubt stop you. Phrases about confidence and action. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Acknowledge fear exists, but take action despite it. Example: I was nervous about speaking English, but I felt the fear and did it anyway. Fake it till you make it. Act confident even when you don't feel confident. Eventually, you'll actually become confident. Example: when I first started teaching, I had to fake it till I made it. Teaching note: some people criticize this phrase as inauthentic, but it can be helpful advice in moderation. Take the leap. Take a risk or make a bold decision. Example: stop planning and take the leap. Apply for that job. Get out of your comfort zone. Do something that makes you feel uncomfortable or uncertain. Example, growth happens when you get out of your comfort zone. Comfort zone, noun phrase. Definition, the psychological state where you feel safe and in control. Examples, speaking English in public is outside my comfort zone. Or, staying in your comfort zone prevents growth. Discomfort, noun, or uncomfortable, adjective. Definition, the feeling of being uneasy or not at ease. Examples, growth requires discomfort. Or, it's uncomfortable at first, but it gets easier. Teaching note, discomfort is different from pain. Discomfort is tolerable and temporary. Readiness, noun, or ready, adjective. Definition, the state of being prepared for something. Important phrase, wait until you're ready. Often an excuse that keeps people from starting. Examples, I'm waiting until I'm ready to speak English. Procrastination. Most successful people weren't ready when they started. They just began. You'll never feel 100% ready, and that's okay. Permission, noun. Definition, approval or allowance to do something. Important concept. Sometimes you need to give yourself permission to try, to fail, to be imperfect. Example, I give myself permission to make mistakes while learning English. Finally, let's learn vocabulary for describing personal growth and transformation. Transformation, noun. Transform, verb. Definition, a complete or major change in form, nature, or appearance. Examples, language learning is a transformation process. You won't transform overnight. Related, transformative, causing transformation. Gradual versus sudden. Important concept. Real transformation is usually gradual, not sudden. Gradual transformation happens slowly over time, often unnoticed in the moment. Feels like a struggle while it's happening. Example, learning English day by day. Sudden transformation happens quickly, rare in real life, dramatic and obvious, often temporary. Example, a motivational moment that doesn't last. Imperceptible, adjective. Definition, so slight, gradual, or subtle that it's not easily noticed. Example, your progress might be imperceptible day to day, but over months, the change is clear. Teaching note, imperceptible means not perceptible, able to be perceived or noticed. Cumulative, adjective. Definition, increasing by successive additions, building up over time. Example, learning is a cumulative process. Each day adds to what you learned before. Emergence, noun. Emerge, verb. Definition, the process of coming into existence or becoming visible. Examples, a new version of yourself emerges through consistent effort. Your fluency will emerge gradually. Metaphor? Like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon. Unfolding. Noun. Unfold. Verb. Definition: to develop or reveal gradually. Example: your journey is still unfolding. Be patient with the process. Persistence. Noun. Persist. Verb. Definition: continuing despite difficulty or opposition. Examples: success requires persistence. Persist even when progress feels slow. Related: perseverance, similar meaning.
Resilience. Noun. Resilient. Adjective. The ability to recover from difficulties. Mental toughness. Examples: building resilience is part of the learning process. Resilient people bounce back from setbacks. Teaching note: from Latin, resilire, meaning to bounce back. Phrases for describing growth. Becoming a new version of yourself. Transforming into an improved or different person. Example: every day of practice brings you closer to becoming a new version of yourself. Quiet strength. Inner strength that doesn't need to be loud or obvious. Example: persistence requires quiet strength, continuing even when no one's watching. Trust the process. Have faith that the method will work even when you can't see immediate results. Example: when learning feels slow, trust the process. Results take time. The journey, not the destination. The experience of working toward a goal is more important than reaching it. Enjoy the journey of learning English, not just the destination of fluency. Let's practice using this vocabulary together to talk about goals and personal growth. I used to have self-doubt about learning English. I built invisible walls and told myself I'm just not good at languages. But I acknowledged that these were self-imposed limitations. I decided to focus on small actions instead of waiting to feel motivated. I started practicing just 10 minutes daily. It felt uncomfortable at first, but I learned that discomfort is part of growth. I didn't wait until I felt ready. I gave myself permission to be imperfect. Action created motivation, not the other way around. The transformation was gradual and imperceptible at first, but through persistence and consistency, a new version of me began to emerge. Now I see that I'm more capable than I thought. I still have doubts sometimes, but I've developed resilience and quiet strength. I'm learning to trust the process.
You've just learned comprehensive vocabulary for discussing goals, fears, growth, and transformation. Quick recap of key concepts. About limitations. Invisible walls, self-imposed. Barriers, self-doubt. Inner voice. About action, momentum, consistency, sustainable. Show up, incremental, gradual. About motivation, catalyst, prerequisite, byproduct, confidence, doubt, comfort zone, about growth, transformation, emergence, persistence, resilience, quiet strength, a balanced perspective. This vocabulary helps you discuss personal development. But remember, growth is not linear. There are ups and downs. It's okay to struggle and have doubts. Small progress is still real progress. Rest and self-compassion are part of the process. You don't have to be perfect or transform completely. Your reflection task. Think about or write in the comments. What's one invisible wall you've built about learning English? What's one small action you could take today? How has your English already transformed, even if gradually? Learning English itself is a perfect example of this lesson's theme. You might think, I can't speak English fluently. But every day you practice, you're building toward that goal. The transformation is happening, even if you can't see it yet. Thank you for spending 30 minutes learning this meaningful vocabulary with me. These aren't just words, they're concepts that can help you think differently about challenges and possibilities. Until next time, remember, you're probably stronger and more capable than you think. Keep showing up, trust the process, and give yourself permission to be imperfect.
Hello, my wonderful English learners. Welcome back to our channel. Before we start today's life-changing lesson, I want to say something important. I upload new videos to our channel every day for you to learn and grow. Don't forget to support me so I can continue doing this. You can help me see our channel in front of more people by subscribing, becoming a member, liking, and commenting on each of my videos. Please don't forget to do these. Thank you so much. Now let me share a method that will completely change how you approach English learning.
Let me ask you something. How long do you think you need to practice English every day to become fluent? 1 hour? 2 hours? 3 hours? What if I told you that just 10 minutes a day, yes, 10 minutes, is more powerful than studying for 2 hours once a week? I know this sounds too good to be true. You're probably thinking, how can 10 minutes be enough? But here's the truth. It's not about how long you practice. It's about how often you practice. Teaching note, consistency beats intensity in language learning. This is proven by research and experience. Today, I am going to teach you a revolutionary method, the 10-minute daily English fluency method. This is a simple 5-step routine that requires no teacher, costs nothing, can be done anywhere, takes only 10 minutes, actually builds real fluency. What we'll cover? Why 10 minutes daily beats 2 hours weekly, the complete 5-step routine, 2 minutes per step, why this method actually works, common mistakes to avoid, what results to expect, and when. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a complete system for building fluency through daily practice. A system you can start today. If you liked this lesson, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English with us. Ready to discover the power of 10 minutes? Let's begin. First, Let's understand why this method is so powerful. The consistency principle. Your brain learns languages through small, regular contact, not through long, rare study sessions. Think about it like this. Option A, study English for 2 hours on Sunday. Option B, study English for 10 minutes every single day. Which is better? Most people think option A gives you more time, 2 hours versus 70 minutes per week, 10 minutes times 7 days. But option B is much more effective. Here's why. Key vocabulary. Understanding consistency. Consistence equals doing something regularly over time. Regularity equals happening at frequent, predictable intervals. Momentum equals forward movement that keeps going. Accumulation equals gradual increase over time. Retention equals keeping information in memory. Teaching note. Consistence comes from consistent, staying the same, continuing steadily. Why daily practice is powerful? 1. Your brain stays in English mode. When you practice daily, your brain doesn't forget between sessions. You maintain momentum. Each day builds on the previous day. English starts to feel natural. When you practice once a week, your brain forgets most of what you learned. You lose momentum. Each week, you start almost from zero. English always feels difficult. 2. The accumulation effect. 10 minutes seems small, but let's do the math. 10 minutes times 30 days equals 300 minutes. 300 minutes equals 5 hours of focused practice per month. 5 hours times 12 months equals 60 hours per year. That's 60 hours of pure, focused English practice just from 10 minutes daily. 3. Small habits are sustainable. Here's a truth about human behavior. Big goals, I'll study 2 hours every day. Reality, you do it for 3 days, then quit because it's too hard. Small goals, I'll study 10 minutes every day. Reality, you actually do it because it's easy and manageable. Teaching note, sustainable means you can continue doing it long-term without burning out. The core philosophy. The secret is not what you do, it's how often you do it. This is the foundation of the method. Frequency matters more than duration. Comparison. Traditional approach. Study grammar rules for hours. Memorize long vocabulary lists. Take classes once or twice a week. Result? You know English, but can't speak it. 10-minute method. Practice speaking every single day. Use English actively, not passively. Build habits, not just knowledge. Result? You can actually use English naturally. The goal. This method is designed to move you from knowing English to using English. Thinking in your language to thinking in English. Hesitating when speaking to speaking automatically. Studying English to living English. Key phrases to remember.
Fluency is not about knowing, it's about doing. Small, regular contact beats long, rare study. Consistency builds fluency.
Now let me teach you the exact 5-step routine. Each step takes just 2 minutes. Step 1. Input. Listening. 2 minutes. What to do? Listen to a short piece of English audio that you understand at least 80%. Good sources, short podcast clips, YouTube videos, English learning audio, news clips. This channel, How to Do It. Choose audio that's 2 to 3 minutes long. Play it and just listen. Don't translate, just absorb the sounds. Focus on rhythm, tone, and melody of English. Example: listen to a short story about someone's morning routine. Don't worry about every word, just let the English wash over you. Teaching note: absorb means to take in naturally, like a sponge absorbs water. Pro tip: the power of repetition. Use the same audio clip every day for 1 week. Why? Day 1, you understand 60%. Day 3, you understand 80%. Day 7, you understand 95% and know it by heart. Repetition builds fluency faster than new material every day. Common mistake? But I'll get bored. Truth: your brain needs repetition to internalize patterns. Embrace it.
Step 2. Speak out loud. 2 minutes. What to do? Take phrases from the audio and say them out loud, copying everything exactly. How to do it? Listen to one sentence, pause the audio, repeat the sentence exactly. Copy the pronunciation, speed, rhythm, melody, or intonation. Example: audio says, I usually wake up early in the morning. You say, I usually wake up early in the morning. Copying exactly. Do this with 5 to 10 sentences from your audio. Teaching note: this is called shadowing. You're like a shadow, copying everything. Why this works? Speaking is a physical skill. Your mouth needs to practice moving in English patterns, making English sounds, finding the rhythm. Think of it like playing a musical instrument. You need to train your muscles. Key vocabulary. Out loud means speaking so others can hear, not silent in your head. Mimic means to copy exactly. Muscle memory is when your body remembers how to do something automatically. Important: don't worry about mistakes. Fluency grows from repetition, not from perfection. If you liked this lesson, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English with us.
Step 3. Personalize. 2 minutes. What to do? Take the phrases you just practiced and adapt them to your life. How to do it?
Take a sentence from the audio, change it to be true for you, say your personal version out loud. Examples. Original. I usually wake up early in the morning. Your version. I usually wake up at 7:30 on weekdays. Original. I drink coffee for breakfast. Your version. I drink tea for breakfast, not coffee. Original. I take the bus to work. Your version. I walk to work because I live nearby. Teaching note. Personalization makes the language stick in your memory because it's connected to your life. Why this is powerful. When English is about your life, your experiences, your feelings, you remember it better, it feels more meaningful, you can actually use it in real conversations. It stops being theoretical and becomes practical. Key concept. This step turns passive knowledge, knowing a phrase, into active ability, using it naturally. Practice now. Think of 3 things. What time do you wake up? What do you eat for breakfast? How do you get to work or school? Can you say these in English? That's personalization.
Step 4. Practice free speaking. 2 minutes. What to do? Speak continuously for 2 minutes without stopping, without reading, without copying. How to do it? Choose any simple topic, your day, your plans, your thoughts. Set a timer for 2 minutes. Start speaking and don't stop until the timer ends. If you get stuck, keep talking. Say something. Even, let me think. Example topics. What did you do today? What are your plans for tomorrow? Describe your bedroom. Talk about your favorite food. What are you learning in English? Teaching note. The goal is not to speak perfectly. The goal is to speak continuously without long pauses.
Why this is crucial. This step trains your brain to think and speak at the same time. Keep going even when you don't know the perfect word. Build flow and fluency. Stop overthinking. Key vocabulary. Continuously means without stopping. Flow means smooth movement from one idea to the next. Fluency means speaking smoothly and easily. Important rules. Do. Keep talking even if you make mistakes. Use simple words if you don't know complex ones. Repeat yourself if needed. Make sounds like or let me see instead of long silence. Don't. Stop and think for 30 seconds. Don't try to be perfect. Don't read from notes. Don't translate from your language. The magic. After 30 days of this, speaking for 2 minutes will feel easy. Then you can increase to 3 minutes, then 5, then 10.
Step 5. Reflect and repeat. 2 minutes. What to do?
Think about your practice session. Review what you learned. How to do it. Sit quietly for a moment. Ask yourself these questions. Which phrases were easy to say? Which words were difficult? What mistakes did I notice? What do I want to practice tomorrow? Teaching note: reflection helps your brain organize and store the new information. Why reflection matters. When you reflect, your brain consolidates or solidifies what you learned. You identify patterns in your mistakes. You become aware of your progress. You prepare mentally for tomorrow's practice. Example reflection. Today, the phrase "I usually wake up" was easy to say, but I struggled with pronouncing breakfast correctly. I noticed I keep forgetting to use the past tense. Tomorrow, I'll focus more on past tense verbs. Key vocabulary. Reflect means to think carefully about something. Review means to look at or think about something again. Consolidate means to make something solid or permanent. Progress means improvement over time. Write it down, optional but helpful. Keep a simple journal. Date, what you practiced, one thing that was easy, one thing to improve, how you felt. This takes 30 seconds but makes a huge difference in tracking progress.
Now, let's talk about the 3 biggest mistakes people make and how to avoid them. Mistake number 1: skipping days. The problem? I'll practice tomorrow. I'm too busy today. I'll do double time tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes and you skip again. Soon, you've lost momentum. Teaching note: momentum is like a ball rolling down a hill. Once it stops, it's hard to start again. The solution: even 5 minutes is better than nothing. If you truly can't do 10 minutes, do just step 1 and 2, 4 minutes. Or do just step 4, 2 minutes of free speaking. Or do a shortened version, 1 minute per step equals 5 minutes total. The rule: never skip. Keep the daily habit alive, even if it's smaller. Better, 5 minutes every day for 30 days. Worse, 30 minutes once a week. Mistake number 2: waiting for perfection. The problem? I'll start when I have more time. I'll start when my grammar is better. I need the perfect setup first. Result: you never start. Teaching note: perfection is the enemy of progress. A common saying that means trying to be perfect stops you from improving. The solution: start messy. Start imperfect. Just start. Language learning is naturally messy. You will make mistakes. That's good. Your pronunciation won't be perfect. That's normal. You'll forget words. Everyone does. You'll feel silly sometimes. Part of the process. The truth? Progress
not perfection, should be your motto. Start today with whatever you have. Use YouTube videos. Free. Talk to yourself at home. No special equipment needed. Your phone is enough.
Mistake number 3, practicing without emotion. The problem? If you practice like a robot, without interest or emotion, your brain won't engage. It becomes a boring chore. Example of boring practice. Repeating, "The cat is on the table," 100 times with no emotion or connection to your life. The solution? Make it personal. Make it interesting. Make it fun. Choose topics you care about. Your hobbies, your dreams, your family, your favorite movies, your future goals. Add emotion to your speaking. Speak with enthusiasm when talking about things you love. Use expression in your voice. Tell stories that matter to you. Example, instead of, "I like movies," flat, boring. Try, "I love movies, especially action movies. They're so exciting." Emotional, engaged. Teaching note. Your brain learns better when emotions are involved. This is proven by neuroscience. Key lesson? If it feels like a chore, you won't continue. If it feels interesting, you'll look forward to it.
Let's talk about what you can expect from this method. The timeline. After 1 week, you will feel the difference. Speaking feels slightly easier. You hesitate less. Some phrases come automatically. You feel more confident. After 1 month, others will notice the difference. Your speaking sounds more natural. You respond faster in conversations. Your pronunciation improves. People say your English is getting better. After 6 months, your fluency will explode. English feels natural, not forced. You think in English more often. Speaking doesn't feel scary. You can have real conversations comfortably. Teaching note. These timelines are realistic with consistent daily practice. Your action plan. Start today. Step 1. Choose your listening material. Find 1 2 to 3 minute audio video you understand mostly. Save it. Step 2. Set a daily reminder. Choose the same time every day. Morning, lunch break, before bed. Step 3. Commit to 7 days. Don't think about 6 months. Just commit to 1 week. Step 4. Track your practice. Use a simple calendar. Mark each day you complete the 10 minutes. Step 5. Join the community. Share your progress in the comments. Tell us what day you're on, what you're practicing, how it's going. The ultimate truth. Language is not learned in a classroom. It's built in small daily moments. You don't need expensive courses, years of study, perfect conditions, hours of free time. You need 10 minutes, consistency, a willingness to practice, and patience with yourself. You now have a complete system for building English fluency with just 10 minutes per day. Quick recap, the 5 steps. Input, listen, 2 minutes. Speak out loud, 2 minutes. Personalize, 2 minutes. Free speaking, 2 minutes. Reflect, 2 minutes. Remember, consistency beats intensity.
10 minutes daily is more powerful than 2 hours weekly. Progress, not perfection. Make it personal and interesting. Your challenge. Start today. Do your first 10-minute session after this video ends. Then come back and comment. Day 1 complete. What audio did you use? How did it feel? After 7 days, come back and tell me how you feel. I promise you'll notice a difference. Every single day you practice, you're building fluency. Every day you skip, you lose momentum. The choice is yours. Thank you for spending 30 minutes with me learning this powerful method. Remember, fluency isn't about studying harder, it's about practicing smarter, more consistently. Until next time, commit to your 10 minutes. Trust the process and watch your fluency grow.
Hello, my wonderful English learners. Welcome back to our channel. Before we start today's exciting lesson, I want to say something from my heart. I upload new videos to our channel every day for you to learn and grow. Don't forget to support me so I can continue doing this. You can help me see our channel in front of more people by subscribing, becoming a member, liking and commenting on each of my videos. Please don't forget to do these. Thank you so much. Now, let's learn how to tell amazing stories in English.
Let me tell you a quick story. Last week, I was walking to a cafe when I saw someone famous. I had actually seen this person before at the airport. He had been signing autographs for hours. Did you notice something? I just used 3 different past tenses in that short story, and they all worked together to paint a complete picture of what happened. Today's lesson is about something magical, using all 4 past tenses together to tell your life stories naturally, just like native speakers do. Teaching note: past tenses aren't isolated grammar rules. They work together to create rich narratives. Most English learners know the past tenses separately. I walked, I was walking, I had walked, I had been walking. But how do you use them together in real conversation? That's what we're learning today. What we'll cover: quick review of the 4 past tenses, real stories using all 4 tenses naturally, how tenses work together to create meaning, practice telling your stories. By the end, you'll understand how to tell any story from your life using the right past tenses at the right time. If you liked this lesson, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English with us. Ready to become a storyteller? Let's begin.
Before we dive into stories, let's quickly review what each past tense does. Don't worry, we'll see them in action soon. Past tense number 1. Simple past. What it does? Describes finished actions in the past. Structure. Regular verbs, verb plus ed. Walked, talked, played. Irregular verbs, special forms. Went,
saw, ate. Examples: I walked to the store. She ate breakfast. They went to London. When to use: when something happened and finished in the past. Teaching note: this is your basic past tense, the foundation of storytelling. Past tense number 2. Past continuous. What it does: describes what was happening at a specific moment in the past. Structure: was or were plus verb ing. Examples: I was walking when it started raining. She was eating when the phone rang. They were watching TV at 9 p.m. When to use: for actions in progress at a specific past time. For background actions in a story. To set the scene. Teaching note: this creates the setting or background of your story. Past tense number 3. Past perfect. What it does: shows that one past action happened before another past action. Structure: had plus past participle. Examples: I had already eaten when she arrived. The movie had started before we got there. He had never seen snow before that day. When to use: to show something happened earlier than the main story. Time relationship: first, I ate. Past perfect: had eaten. Then, she arrived. Past simple: arrived. Teaching note: think of this as going further back in time from your main story.
Past tense number 4. Past perfect continuous. What it does: shows an ongoing action that was happening before another past event. Structure: had been plus verb ing. Examples: I had been waiting for 2 hours when the bus finally came. She had been studying all night before the exam. They had been living there for 5 years when they moved. When to use: to emphasize the duration of an action that happened before something else. Teaching note: this combines the before idea of past perfect with the ongoing idea of continuous. Quick comparison. Simple past: I waited. Finished action. Past continuous: I was waiting. In progress. Past perfect: I had waited. Happened before something else. Past perfect continuous: I had been waiting for 2 hours. Ongoing action before something else. Now, let's see these tenses in action. I'll tell you a story, and you listen for the different past tenses. Last week, I was walking down the street when I saw someone who looked familiar. I stopped and realized it was a famous actor. He walked into a cafe and ordered a coffee. I couldn't believe it. But here's the interesting part. I had actually seen him once before at the airport. That first time, he had been signing autographs for like 2 hours straight. There were so many people. But this time in the cafe, he was just sitting quietly, enjoying his coffee. Analysis. Let's break this down. Simple past actions, main events. I saw someone. I stopped. He walked into a cafe. He ordered a coffee. These are the main events of the story happening in order. Past continuous. Background, setting. I was walking down the street. This sets the scene. He was just sitting quietly. This describes the ongoing situation. These tell us what was happening, creating the atmosphere. Past perfect, earlier event. I had actually seen him once before at the airport. This happened before last week. This takes us back to an even earlier time. Past perfect continuous, ongoing earlier action. He had been signing autographs for like 2 hours straight. This tells us about something that was happening for a duration before something else. Teaching note. Notice how the tenses work together like layers of time. Present moment of the story, background actions, and flashbacks to earlier events. Why these tenses matter. If I only used simple past, I walked, I saw him before, he signed autographs. This sounds choppy and unclear. The different tenses show what was happening, past continuous, what happened, simple past, what had happened earlier, past perfect, what had been happening for a while, past perfect continuous.
Let me tell you another story. This one is about a concert that went horribly wrong. The story. A few years ago, I went to a concert in LA. The band was playing their biggest hit, the song everyone had been waiting for all night. The energy was incredible. But suddenly, everything just stopped. The power went out completely. The whole venue went dark. The singer had already sung that song thousands of times in his career. But that night, it had been building up to the best part when the power failed. Some fans had already left by that point because they were tired, so they missed the craziness. Analysis. Simple past main story events. I went to a concert, the main event. Everything just stopped. What happened? The power went out. The problem. Some fans had already left. Wait, is this simple past? No, it's past perfect. Let me correct that. They missed the craziness. Simple past event. Past continuous. What was in progress? The band was playing their biggest hit. Sets the scene. The energy was incredible. Describes the atmosphere. Past perfect. What had happened before? The singer had already sung that song thousands of times in his career. Some fans had already left. They left before the power failed. They missed it because they had already left. Past perfect continuous. Ongoing action before. Everyone had been waiting all night. It had been building up to the best part. Teaching note. Past perfect shows sequence. Some fans left, then the power failed. They missed it because they had already left. Time layers in this story. Layer 1, furthest back. He had sung that song thousands of times. Layer 2, earlier that night. Had been waiting all night. Layer 3, background of the main event, was playing. Layer 4, main events. Went out, stopped, missed. If you liked this lesson, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep improving your English with us.
Here's a stressful story many travelers can relate to. The story. Last year, we were trying to catch a flight in New York. We were in a taxi, but the driver kept missing turns. I was getting really nervous. We had been running late even before we got in the taxi. My friend had forgotten to set her alarm, so we had been rushing all morning. By the time we arrived at the airport, we had been running through the terminal like crazy people. But it didn't matter. The plane had already taken off. Analysis. Simple past. Main events. We got in the taxi. We arrived at the airport. It didn't matter. Past continuous. Ongoing situations. We were trying to catch a flight. The goal in progress. I was getting really nervous. My emotional state developing. Past perfect. Earlier completed actions. My friend had forgotten to set her alarm, so had happened before we were late. The plane had already taken off. Happened before we arrived. Past perfect continuous. Ongoing earlier actions. We had been running late. Continuous problem. We had been rushing all morning. Ongoing action. We had been running through the terminal. Ongoing action before we found out. Teaching note. Had already is a very common combination with past perfect to emphasize something was complete before another event. The power of tenses here. The past perfect continuous had been rushing shows we were stressed for a long time before arriving. The past perfect had already taken off shows the plane left before we arrived, emphasizing we missed it. Without these tenses, we rushed, we arrived, the plane left. With these tenses, you feel the duration, the stress, the sequence. Let me tell you one more story. This one is a bit spooky. The story. A few months ago, I checked into an old hotel in the countryside. It looked charming during the day. But at midnight, something strange happened. I was trying to sleep when the power failed. Complete darkness. I went to the lobby to ask for help. The manager told me the power had already failed earlier that evening, and they hadn't fixed it properly. Great. I went back to my room, but I couldn't sleep. I had been lying awake for 2 hours, just listening to strange sounds in the building.
It was like a horror movie. Analysis. Simple past. I checked into an old hotel. Something strange happened. I went to the lobby. I went back to my room. Past continuous. I was trying to sleep. The interrupted action. Past perfect. The power had already failed earlier that evening, and they hadn't fixed it properly. Past perfect continuous. I had been lying awake for 2 hours. Teaching note. Had been lying emphasizes I was awake for a long time. This duration makes it feel more frustrating. Why the perfect tenses matter here. Had already failed tells us this wasn't the first time. Hadn't fixed explains why it failed again. Had been lying awake shows my suffering over time. These details make the story richer and more frustrating.
Now let's review how all 4 tenses work together in storytelling. The function of each tense. Simple past. Main events of your story. Actions that happened and finished. The what happened tense. Past continuous. Background actions. Setting the scene. Interrupted actions. The what was happening tense. Past perfect. Actions completed before the main story. Flashbacks to earlier events. The what had happened before tense. Past perfect continuous. Ongoing actions before another past event. Emphasizes duration. The what had been happening for a while tense. Teaching note. Think of storytelling like painting. Simple past is your main subject. Continuous is the background. Perfect tenses add depth and time layers. How to use them together. Step 1. Start with your main event. Simple past. I went to a concert. Step 2. Add background or setting. Past continuous. The band was playing their biggest hit. Step 3. Add earlier context if needed. Past perfect. I had been waiting for that song all night. And step 4. Add duration details. Past perfect continuous. The excitement had been building for hours. Complete sentence. I went to a concert where the band was playing their biggest hit, the song I had been waiting to hear because the excitement had been building all night. You've just learned how to use all 4 past tenses together to tell rich, natural stories. Quick recap. The 4 past tenses. Simple past, main events, went, saw, ate. Past continuous, background, was going, was eating. Past perfect, earlier events, had gone, had seen. Past perfect continuous, ongoing earlier events, had been going. How they work together? They create layers of time in your story. They show sequence, duration, and background. They make your stories feel complete and natural. Common time phrases to use. With simple past, yesterday, last week,
in 2020, 3 days ago. With past continuous, at 9 p.m., while, when, as. With past perfect, already, before, never before, by the time. With past perfect continuous, for 2 hours, all morning, since 8 a.m. Your homework, the storytelling challenge. Write a short story in the comments using all 4 past tenses. It can be about a trip you took, a funny experience, something that went wrong, meeting someone interesting, any memory from your life. I'll read your stories and give you feedback. Example to help you start. Last summer, I was walking in the park when I saw an old friend. I hadn't seen her in 5 years. We went to a cafe and talked for hours. She told me she had been living in Australia. We had so much to catch up on. Remember, don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you learn. The more you practice storytelling, the more natural it becomes. These tenses give your stories life. What's one interesting thing that happened to you recently? Can you tell it using different past tenses? Share in the comments. Thank you for spending 30 minutes mastering past tense storytelling with me. Remember, grammar isn't just rules. It's a tool for sharing your experiences and connecting with others. Until next time, keep practicing, keep telling your stories, and keep believing in yourself. Every story you tell makes you a better English speaker.